Hello to everyone. Welcome to my podcast again. I am José Antonio Madrid Maldonado, and today I'm going to talk about modern methodologies in English teaching. This topic is especially important for future primary school teachers because methodology strongly influences how students learn and how motivated they feel. Teaching a foreign language is not only about grammar and vocabulary. It is about communication, interactions, emotion, and adaptation for student needs. For this reason, teachers must understand didactic methodologies and the role of technology in education. In this podcast, I will explain the evolution of teaching methods, the importance of the community approach, the role of technology, and the relevance of CLIL in today's school. The first part, didactics and methodology. First of all, it is important to understand the difference between didactic approach, method, and methodology. We are going to start with didactics that can be defined as a science behind the teaching. It helps teachers analyze how teaching and learning happen and how we can improve our practice. In foreign language teaching, didactic is especially important because each group of students is different. Teachers must consider factors such as intelligence, students' level, motivation, age, available resources, and learning context. Methodology refers to how teaching is organized in the classroom. An approach is more theoretical and refers to theories about language and language learning. A method, on the other hand, is the practical application of an approach through classroom techniques and activities. This means that good teachers are reflective professionals who constantly adapt their methodology depending on their students' needs. The second part of the postcard is the evolution of teaching methods. Throughout history, different teaching methods have appeared. One of the first methods was the grammar translation method. It's called GTM, a very famous method. In this method, the main focus was on grammar rules and translation. The students were machines. Students mainly work on reading and writing, while speaking and listening were almost ignored. The same that I have said, machines. The mother tongue was used most of the time, and communication was not the objective. Later, the direct methods appear as a reaction against grammar translation. The direct methods focus on spoken languages imitation. Vocabulary was taught through gesture, images, and real objects. Grammar was not explained directly, but introduced inductively. However, these methods require small groups and highly trained teachers, which made it difficult to apply in public school. I think this method is easier for the students because you can teach better with small groups and making the student participate. The audiolingual method was developed during World War II. It was based on behaviorism, meaning that learning was in an habit formation. Students repair structure through drills and memorization. Errors were corrected immediately. Although this method helped with pronunciation accuracy, learning was mechanical and not meaningful. The opposite. In the 1970s, the cognitive approach emerged. This approach changed the focus of teaching. The main objective became cognitive competence, the ability of use language effectively in real situations. A very good difference from the GTM or the audiolingual method. In cognitive classroom, interaction is essential. Students participate in role plays, group work, problem-solving tasks, and real communication. Grammar is not a central element, but a very important tool to communicate. If you don't know how to use the grammar, you can communicate well. The third part is the modern education and student-centered learning. Today, education is no longer teacher-centered. Traditional teaching, considering the teacher as the main resource of knowledge, while the students were passively recipients. Modern education have changed and promote student-centered learning. This means that the students take an active role in their own learning process. The teacher becomes a facilitator who guides, supports, and motivates. Active methodologies as a cooperative learning, project-based learning, gamification, and task-based learning are increasingly common in primary school. And I think it's very important because making the activities active for the students is very important because they are going to want to participate, collaborate, do things in the class, because if they are only machines, they are going to be very bored in class. These methodologies help develop not only linguistic competence but also social skills, critical thinking and autonomy. Very important for the life right now. The social skills, the critical thinking and the autonomy. There is no perfect method. For this reason, most teachers today follow an elective approach, selecting different strategies depending on the context, the group and the objects. The conclusion. To conclude, teaching English today requires much more than following a textbook. Teacher must understand didactic, select appropriate methodologies, integrate technology meaningfully, and adapt their teaching to students' needs. The community approach, active methodologies, technology, and CLIL represent the present and future of education. However, no single method is perfect. Teachers must adopt an eclectic, and reflective attitude, constantly improving their practice. Being a teacher means being a lifelong learner. Our responsibility is not to teach language, but to motivate the students, help them grow, and prepare them for real communication in a globalized world. Thank you very much for listening, and I will read all the comments below from this video if you have any different perspective or different ideas, so I will read in the comments. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.